Um, Terrorism. So, what is terrorism? The meaning of terrorism, it is a calculated use of violence to create a climate of fear in population, thereby to bring about a particular political objectives. It is also the weapons of the weak. The goal of terrorism generally is to destroy public sense security. Defining terrorism. According to Audrey Cronin, it provides a reasonable definition. Terrorism is a political in nature. It seeks to induce political change by inducing fear, overreaction, perpetrated by non-state actors, and deliberate but seeming random targeting of non-combatants. Terrorism is an asymmetric tactics of the weak non-state actors against overwhelmingly stronger states. So according to his definition, terrorism is an overreaction, and it also creates fear of a from the actor of the people, I mean in the people in society. And then we have here terrorism. They have four types of terrorist groups. So we have here left wing. Ano bang left wing? Ano bang ang meaning nito? So here's the definition. It has a negative role in the society. It also the continuing problem of the society. People who have involved in political ideas that based on the socialism. That's left wing. And then we have here right wing. The members of a right wing is a conservative or reactionary political party of those opposing exclusive political reform. Next, we have here separatists or exto-nationalists. Okay, their advocate is to support the political interest in a particular ethnic group, especially its national independence or self-determination. Religious or sacred groups that involves in terrorism. Maraming religious group ang involved. Most of the time is, I think, Islamic group. That's according to my research only. And then, the original meaning or original definition of terrorism is it is the state violence in French Revolution. So it started in the French Revolution hanggang ngayon in our present generation. But now the meaning of terrorism is violence used by the groups to generate political change. So they wanted change in our governments. They have the political issues. Yan. Ito yung mga nagiging dahilan. Kaya sila, in a one group, they create violence para maiparating nila sa government kung ano yung gusto nila. May mga example dyan na ginagawa nila kagaya ng pagrarally or worse, they want war in particular places, bombing, like that. And then, in realist meaning, terrorist violence is illegitimate. When we say illegitimate, illegal. Kumbaga, in a illegal way. They are, the terrorists are in their illegal way of expressing their opinions or expressing their opinions towards government. And then, they are the weakest form of irregular warfare. Yun na nga. They created war in a such society para mapansin ng government at may parating kung ano yung gusto nilang sabihin o kung ano yung kung bakit sila, kung bakit anong dahilan nila, kung bakit nila ginagawa yung particular things na yan kasi nga they are anti-government. And then in a globalization, the factors enable transnationalist terrorism. Pwede nilang gamitin sa air travel, through media, such common causes. Marami pang iba. Marami silang ways. Pwede na yan gamitin para para makakreate ng war or kumbaga gubot. Yun. Modern democratization of force also facilitates terrorism. Modern democratization means process through which political regime becomes democratic, the explosive spread of democracy. Next, we have here, why does terrorism maintain its vitality? It is because of the culture, economics, and the religion. In the culture, mas nami-maintain nila kasi naging culture na nga nila. It passed in generation by generation, pasa-pasa. Kumbaga, na-adapt yung hatred, na-adapt yung gusto nilang ipahatid na mensahe pero pinapadaan lang nila sa illegal way. Yun. Sa economics, ayan. Nakadepende rin kasi sa ekonomiya. Economy ng isang bansa. Kaya sila nakaka-create ng war, nakaka-create ng hatred in the government. Baka kasi hindi nila gusto yung pamamalakad ng isang government or mga policies ng government. Yun. Baka hindi nila kasi gusto yun. And religion. Nakaka-apekto din kasi they are in a religious group. They work as a group. They have one religion. Baka may pinaglalaban din sila according to their religion. And then, according to Cronin, the meaning of terrorism is intimately linked with religion. Yun na nga. Ang meaning niya is nakalink talaga sa religion nila. So, we have here, reaction with military force insufficient. Isa rin sa dahilan kung bakit sila nagre-rebelde o di kaya nag-create ng ganito kind of word na terrorism, it's because they are reacting to a military forces. Kasi ang military forces is kakampi man siya ng government. So dahil dyan, against na rin sila sa mga military forces na pinapadala ng gobyerno para sila ay takpin or di kaya mag-disagree sa kanilang gusto. Kasi our world or our nation needs peace. That's why there is a military forces to secure and ensure the peace of our nations. And then, is terrorism a useful concept? Ano nga ba yung kanyang kahalagahan? May kahalagahan ba talaga yung ganitong konsepto? So, ito. Let's read here. The challenging concept of terrorism. The term terrorism creates the false impression that there is a special or unique terrorism phenomenon perpetrated by a special or unique terrorist actors. Sino tong mga terrorist actors? Those in particular group who are attacking the government, impeding the ability to understand politically motivated violence as part of broader social and political system. In calling something a terrorist attack, what intellectual and political agenda is at work. So, ayan. So, pag sinabing terrorist attack, ano nga ba ang intellectual and political agenda nito? It creates lang ng fear sa mga tao. Pag sinabihan na for example, may terrorist attack, yun, marami nang papasok sa isipan nila at matatakot na sila. Ito ang political effect nito ay by using the term of terrorism, policymakers invoke a system of meaning that generates condition of fear and insecurity. Ayan. Instead of terrorist attack, they change it into terrorism. Kasi pag sinabing terrorist attacks, mas nakaka-create ng fear, na-traumatize yung mga tao. So, they change it. They change the term, the policymakers. Gi-invoke nila yung unang meaning, then they change it into a terrorism na lang para hindi siya masyadong maka-apekto or hindi siya maka-create ng fear. Ayan. Then we have here challenging the concept of terrorism. Analyzing 298 incidents from 1945 to 2004. Jordan found that killing the leader of a group resulted in its collapse only 30% of the time. So at that period of time, Jordan found the killing of the leader of the group. Sino itong leader of the group? Leader of the group or those in a part of terrorist. Then, nagresulta ng collapse only in 30% at a time. With religious organization, less than 5% collapse after the leader was killed. So, nung namatay yung mga leader, 5% nawala din. Overall, the organization were actually more prone to decline if their leaders survived. Kumbaga, mas prone silang magtiwalag if their leaders will survive. I mean, organizations were actually more prone to decline if their leaders survive. Ayun. Challenging the concept of terrorism. We have here problem for the scholarly study of terrorism. Classification of political violence based on intent. The old overused adage that one person's terrorist is another person's freedom fighter gets at this issue. It's the overused adage, if the one person terrorist is another person's freedom fighter gets that issue. So this suggests that the concept of terrorism, and thus that the field of terrorism studies, it depends on whether one is on the receiving end of politically originated violence rather than something intrinsically unique to terrorist violence. The asymmetric nature of the violence and the targeting of the non-combatants might be held to rescue the uniqueness of terrorism. As an organizing concept, however, neither concept is particular to phenomena labeled as terrorism. Asymmetric tactics provide actual and possible situation of the politically oriented violence. We have here challenging the concept of terrorism. Neither is the targeting of the non-combatants particularly unique. The United States targeted non-combatant at the very large scales when it firebombed Tokyo and Dresden during World War II. Yun. So finally, one might argue that the indirect physiological aspect of terrorism is what sets it apart as phenomenon. Arguably, the US, in dropping nuclear weapon on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, sought to generate fear in the population, not directly targeted. They just created fear. Clausewitz and Clausewitz noted on war, central to any military strategy is breaking the will to fight of the opposing side, which in turn means draining support for the war from the sentiment of the opposing society.